All right. So finally, something here to be discussing, something here to talk about, something really good came up today, and that is Valve's new portable hybrid console. I think it's called Steam Deck. Yeah, Steam
Yep.
Deck. And today, one of my friends is joining, which is the commander. Please, commander.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're going to be talking about this fantastic handheld device with your boy Zymater and the Badshik, aka Commander Shikaru, aka the Copycat Gamer. So, yeah, without a further ado, let us get into this shit.
Yes. So we're going to watch the IGN video that they just dropped today about. They showed a lot. For me, they just showed a lot, and let's just get into it.
I'm Bo Moore with IGN, and this is the Steam Deck, Valve's brand new handheld gaming
Pause.
PC.
Okay.
Bo Moore. Man, your parents had to have hated you to name you Bo. Not even Boo. Like you're not even scary. You're not even somebody's boo. Yeah, a Bo. Hey, Bo. I'm like, you talking about bow tie fucking spaghetti, or you talking about like bow ties in general? Yeah, okay, go. Keep it going. Sorry.
I'm here at Valve, where I've spent the last few days going hands-on with the Steam Deck, as well as chatting with the people who made it. We've got a lot to cover, so let's dive right in.
All right, pause
When
it.
I first saw the Steam Deck, I was a bit thrown off.
There we go. Uh-huh.
Okie dokie. All right, so right off the bat, just want to say like that was one of the first things I noticed. Was that this looks a lot like a Nintendo Switch
It does.
with their design. So I don't know how well that's gonna go over um, with Nintendo because they might have something on like the copyright design of that. Uh, I don't know if they actually do, but if they did, then I could see this being like kind of a problem in the future. But with the extra features that it has, like uh, like it's got extra buttons for like control mapping and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and those touch pads that we'll get into later.
Right.
Like maybe that'll like divert from Nintendo, trying something, but I mean it's pretty similar.
Right.
So I mean, well, let's keep going.
Off by its control layout. The thumbsticks are in line with the D-pad and face buttons, which looks a bit odd when you're used to the more offset angle found on most controllers. However, as soon as I held it myself, the layout felt completely natural. The full-size thumbsticks felt precise, and while the D-pad wasn't quite as clicky as I'd like, it was fully serviceable for rounding out some quarter circles in Guilty Gear Strive. Similarly, the face buttons and bumpers all felt solid and served me well through a few runs of Hades. The triggers did feel a little bit squishy for my taste, but it's worth noting that I was using a non-final hardware unit,
Here,
so it's
pause
possible.
it. Back it up just a little so we can see the back of it again and the top. Uh, yeah, that's a good view.
All right.
Yeah, so I mean, from this, it looks like there's your power button, your light. You have Type C uh, port. Looks like you got a headphone jack on the top.
Yeah. Yeah. On the top. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Looks
I
pretty
think
sick.
two ventilations on the one on the top and one on the side on the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, this thing's supposed to be basically a handheld PC,
Right.
really.
Yeah.
So I would hope that it's well ventilated. But so far, I see one, two. Yeah, you're right. Two slots. And then, like I was saying before, like those extra buttons, you can see them by his middle finger and his ring finger
Right.
for extra button mapping. So that's pretty cool. All
Mm-hmm.
right, keep it going.
Squishy for my taste, but it's worth noting that I was using a non-final hardware unit, so it's possible that things might improve there as Valve tweaks the deck before launch. On the backside are 4 rear buttons, a welcome feature for anyone who's grown accustomed to using pro-style controllers like the Xbox Elite. These, like the rest of the buttons and other inputs, can be fully customized to whatever you like thanks to Steam Input, Valve's commitment to making useful custom key bindings available for almost any controller layout. Underneath the thumbsticks are one of the deck's standout features, 2 precision trackpads, which give you...
So, one thing I noticed, I mean, to me it's kind of interesting. So, like, you know, PC kind of more crosses over with Xbox, but Steam is kind of on its own in itself. But it kind of looks like they integrated both Xbox and PlayStation controller setup into this. Because I mean, if we look at the button layouts here, Y, X, A, B, that's something that's going to be a little more comfortable for Nintendo players or Xbox players.
Yeah, Xbox player. It has the because it's
Yeah.
it's the same.
But I'm not sure if you noticed the top, instead of like writing RT or LT, they have it set as like how PlayStation has it, like L1 or L2.
L2, right?
Yeah, so I don't know. I thought that was cool. Just a little detail on that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You access to mouse controls for games that don't play well with a controller.
The trackpads here are an evolution of the same technology that we've been working on since the Steam controller days and experimenting with internally. You also have seen some of our trackpad work as part of the index controller, for example. They can be used for many different things. We have a keyboard that lets you do dual thumb typing. In-game, you can map them to areas of the screen for the mouse cursor to jump there and be kind of a one-to-one region.
Wait, hold up. So he said that you can like type like with the keyboard using those 2 trackers too.
You can and later in the video they're going to show you actually how to plug in a keyboard and a mouse and a monitor, because it has actually a dock and it's basically a PC.
Well, it doesn't have its own dock yet, but we'll get into that later. Now it's more so the way they explained the dual touchpads. They're like you could type using those.
Yeah,
kind of like how. Yeah, so I mean that's kind of interesting, and then the ability to restrict like a part of the screen to the touchpad. That's pretty cool, because I know there's like some of those Steam games that are really like PC dependent, on the features like a mouse.
Right.
So like where you gotta hit like your sidebar menu or something like that. That's super cool. Like you can just drag it or whatever. But okay, all right, let's keep going.
Type input. You can create on-screen menus that pop up on top of the game and have many customizable like macro buttons or keyboard keys. And you can just use it for mouse input, where it's really powerful and reliable for the people that are comfortable with that sort of input.
Both the thumbsticks and the trackpads are also capacitive, which means they can tell when your finger is on them. Combined with the internal gyro sensor, it gives you a weirdly precise level of control that, after a brief adjustment period, is honestly not far off from using a regular mouse. Yes, even in first-person shooters like Doom Eternal. Finally, the 7-inch screen is touch-enabled as well, giving you yet another option for controlling your games. The Steam Deck will draw immediate comparisons to the Nintendo
pause
Switch.
it before we go into the OS like that.
Yeah.
Man, what do you think about the hardware so far? What's impressing you the most?
It is at least I see more since I have a lot of library on my Steam right now, and I see this thing. I was going to buy a gaming laptop, but since I watched this, like, I'm like, maybe I'll probably buy this instead.
Yeah, that's.
It has basically everything. The portability is more than a laptop. It has the horsepower required for my games. So, like, why not? Like,
Yeah, I
this
mean,
literally, it is what I really needed.
yeah, it's like I was just thinking about that too. I was like, I need like I need a gaming computer because how else am I gonna play Naruto Revolution now that I bought it on Steam
Right.
if I can't run it on my freaking MacBook? So
Correct.
I'm just like, whatever, dude. Now I'm like, I'll just look for a cheap gaming laptop or I'll buy a used gaming PC and I'll rebuild it. But this, I mean, they got three storage options:
Mhm.
64 gigabyte, 256, and 500 plus. I forgot what
Right.
it was.
And they're more expensive, of course, if it's a
Yeah,
higher. Yeah.
yeah, you're looking at like 350, 557.
Right.
Like
But a gaming laptop is a lot more expensive than that. Like you could see, like
exactly,
now, like the gaming laptops only they're like $1,000. It's
dude. Yeah, because someone else put the labor into making that and designing it and all
yeah,
that
it
shit.
is. But
But I mean, this is literally a whole computer on the go.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. I don't remember if this is the video they get into it, but uh, we'll work our way through this video. Looks like we're getting into the OS, and then if they don't touch base on the more informative side, I'll send you the link for the other video that gives the information.
okay,
But yeah, let's keep going.
But while it might look like a handheld console, Valve's device has much more in common with a desktop gaming PC. The Steam Deck runs a custom version of SteamOS that gives you a console-like experience on the surface, but under the hood is a full-blown PC.
It's a PC. We don't think people should be locked into a certain direction or a certain set of software that they can install. If you buy a Steam Deck, it's a PC. You can install whatever you want on it. You can attach any peripherals you want to it. Maybe a better way to think about it is that it's a small PC with a controller attached as opposed to a gaming console.
I think it differs from these kind of platforms mainly because you can just customize the experience and use all the options at your disposal that are typically associated with PC gaming. We think that while there will be a pretty approachable entry point where you can see the games that work really well by default and get a pretty seamless gaming experience. If you want to go one step further and use all of these options, you can customize
Here,
your
pause it.
control.
all right,
All right, so basically, from what I'm understanding, is like if I want to run Windows on this bitch,
you can, yeah,
I'm gonna be able to run Windows.
yeah.
If I want Photoshop on it,
You can run Photoshop on this
I'm
shit
gonna
too.
run Photoshop on it. You know,
Right.
I mean that's I mean to me that's kind of cool. My question is like, because if I'm not mistaken, this is Linux based
Yeah.
for the OS.
Hmm.
So my question is like, while you're using it as a computer, is that separate from like the Steam OS itself when you're using it portable? Um, you know, but
Yeah,
uh,
I think we might have wait on that, since I don't know if it's going to come with the Windows instead installed, because most of these games that Steam has, it needs to have Windows. Like there's some Steam games that only runs on Steam, and there's Steam games that has to be Windows installed. That happened
yeah,
to me with the Steam Machine.
yeah,
I bought that shit and yeah, I had to install Windows in it because not all my games run without that. It just I
yeah.
think
So
it sucked.
yeah, okay. All right, let's keep watching, see what they got for this.
Your level of performance, battery life, use Steam Workshop or even mods that are outside of the Steam Workshop. All these options that are dear to to PC gamers are fully supported by the deck.
This means you can do pretty much anything on it that you can do at your desk. Plug in a mouse and keyboard? Yep. Tab out of your games to a browser or video? Sure. Load up third-party programs or even other game stores? No problem. You could even wipe SteamOS entirely and install a fresh version of Windows if you
There
want.
we go.
But I will say the default SteamOS is smooth and efficient at getting you into your games, so I would imagine most people won't want or need to go that far. The point is, you can if you want to. Importantly, this also means that all of Steam's features, like cloud saves, are fully functional here. You can start playing a game on your desktop PC, save and quit, then load up and continue playing portably on your Steam Deck, with all of your progress, key bindings, and mods fully intact. You can also suspend games indefinitely on the deck itself, similar to how the Switch works, though you can't have multiple games suspended at once, like with Quick Resume on the Xbox Series X. Valve also told me that they're looking into ways to cloud sync suspended games between desktop and deck, meaning you could potentially hop between platforms without needing to save and quit, but that functionality wasn't in place yet during my time with the device. While the Steam Deck is obviously designed for portable gaming, it's also fully functional as a desktop PC. Using a USB-C dock, you can connect it to a monitor, mouse and keyboard, Ethernet, and whatever other peripherals you want. Valve is developing an official...
So you would need a dock that specifically had USB ports to connect to it.
Yeah.
So that's not included, I don't think, because I don't think they even have an official dock yet.
Well, it's gonna be sold separately, so
yeah,
for
I'm pretty
people,
sure.
For people who want to just buy just the console without the dock, they can do it. If you want it with the dock, it's sold separately. You just buy it, and that's it. That's the way I see it, because I can literally see the dock, and I mean, I can see my Switch right now, and there's some similarities to it, but it's not the same, man.
Yeah, I know.
It
It's not. It's not. I mean, a Switch controller is totally different,
Yeah.
but I mean, they used a very similar concept.
Yeah, I mean, like any other companies do that. I mean, but this has more features than the Switch. It's a lot powerful than the Switch.
No, duh.
it's
it's meant to be a computer, my dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm just gonna buy it and get a Nintendo emulator.
I mean, you can actually do it if you have Windows in it, so you can have
Yeah.
emulators in it. This actually has a touch screen, which is that's a huge plus. This does more than just the Switch, man.
I don't think I really care about the touchscreen, honestly. I mean, on the Switch, touchscreen, yeah, cool. But do we use it? Not really.
We barely use it, yeah.
Yeah, freaking the PS Vita. That's what I play the most on a handheld device.
Right.
And I barely use the touchscreen. I forget that it's touchscreen.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So I mean, that they made a touchscreen, cool, but not necessary. I don't know.
We're just, I don't know, if you're gonna have like an emulator of the Nintendo DS on this thing, you might probably use it. But yeah, it's because it's basically some of these games need that touch, pad on the other side of the screen, so you to play these games. So, man,
True.
Yeah, so
let's go.
Docking station, which will be sold separately, but a standard USB-C dock will work just as well. In desktop mode, Steam Deck honestly just feels like a PC. The OS is Linux-based, but it feels largely familiar to Windows and is capable of running both Windows and Linux games. I played a bit of Factorio and Death Stranding with mouse and keyboard on a 32-inch monitor, and if it weren't for the deck sitting docked next to me on the desk, I would have honestly just forgotten that it wasn't running off of a traditional desktop PC. Of course, a PC gaming device isn't worth much if it can't play games well. But worry not, in the power department, the Steam Deck is no slouch.
We've been partnering pretty closely with AMD on bringing up next generation APU and developing the mainboard and the software solution around it. It has like 4 cores of Zen 2 architecture CPUs with SMT enabled, so up to 8 threads. And the GPU is based on the very latest AMD RDNA 2 architecture, which supports all the latest features like ray tracing and variable ray shading. the total APU combined power is about 2 teraflop, which should let people play the games that they have in their library without issues at 720 and provides lots of horsepower to that effect.
2 teraflops puts the Steam Deck in the ballpark of the Xbox One and PS4. In practice, it's actually more impressive than that. Since it targets a 720p resolution, which is more than enough for the 7-inch screen, the Steam Deck is able to play current-gen PC games at medium to high settings at smooth frame rates. While I wasn't able to run...
Pause.
Yeah.
So the screen's not going to be super HD.
Right.
It's going to be your run-of-the-mill 720 resolution. So if you are playing games on an iPhone or an S20 and you switch to playing to this, you're going to notice a significant quality difference, So, I mean, I feel like that's something that's worth pointing out a little heavier, is that this system, as powerful as it is, they put all the power into the hardware to run everything, Like I said, 2 teraflops of power, bro, that's freaking crazy for something so small.
Exactly.
So dude, I mean, it's got the power. The screen resolution, I wish it would have at least been 1080. For that size, it could have been manageable.
Even
but
the Switch cannot even go 1080. It's still 720, and the OLED that is coming out, I think on October, this Nintendo Switch OLED is still 720.
Yeah, I mean for that size of a screen, 720 is fine, dude.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
It's not like we're gonna be seeing pixels or anything on a 7-inch screen.
Right.
This isn't a 32-inch. So, bright side about this device so far, YouTube videos from 2010 will look amazing. So if you're still watching Ray William Johnson or Shane Dawson or something and like to go watch their old videos, hey, they're going to look great. Equals 3, baby. All right, let's keep it going. Let's see what else they got here.
Benchmark tests during my hands-on time, I played Death Stranding, Doom Eternal, Control, and several others, all of which looked great and played smoothly. The deck comes in 3 different models, but power-wise they all have the same internals. The only difference is in storage space. The base model has 64 gigs of storage for $399. Moving up to the 256 gig model costs $529, while the top end will cost $649 for 512 gigabytes.
Oh, well, I was a little off on
storage
the
devices
prices,
are
but pretty
SSDs.
close.
However, the 256 and 512 gig models use an NVMe drive for even.
So you notice like this thing a little further back said like glare resistant, like scratch resistant etched screen. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of seeing glare on the screen.
I've seen glare too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just like, hopefully they buff that out, but
They have until December this year since it's the actual launch. So
yeah, I mean this is the hardware's not final. They keep putting up there. So all right, well we got 34 seconds left here. All right, let's get it out the way. I don't think we'll get copyrighted.
And while the internal storage itself can't be upgraded, there's an SD card slot to expand your storage even further, which games can be installed onto and played directly off of. The Steam Deck will be available this holiday season with reservations starting soon. We've got a lot more coverage planned all month long, so for all that and more, keep it right here.
That Steam Deck low price critical, that's the next one you should click.
Okay.
That one's gonna give some good detail on it.
After this ad's done.
Water friendly shoes? No way!
The 3 price points are $399, $529, and $649. And the only difference between those is the amount of storage.
Go back to 23 seconds.
There.
23.
649.
All right, perfect. So right there at the bottom it says only the 512 gigabyte model is
Right.
going to feature an anti-glare etched glass screen. Okay, kind of gay. I'm gonna get canceled for that. But sorry, I didn't mean it like that. It's stupid. Okay. Anyway, I don't know what I can and can't say at this point. Just hit the video and play.
And the only difference between those is the amount of storage and the speed of the storage. So for us, it's really, how does the press react? You know, what are they saying about it? What are they saying about it a year later? Right? What's the perception? You know, what are gamers saying? You know, what are their reactions? What are our partners saying? Are the kinds of things that are most helpful to us? Because our assumption is, you know, these are long-term decisions that we're making about how we can contribute to the health and the vitality of this ecosystem. And we're always going to be successful as long as that's continuing to happen. One of the things we're testing on this is that price performance is going to be one of the critical factors in the mobile space. And so we've had to be very aggressive in terms of pricing on the deck. I want to pick this up and say, oh, it all works. Yeah. It's all fast. It's all, and then price point was secondary and painful, but you know, that was pretty clearly a critical aspect to it. But the first thing was the performance and the experience was the biggest and most fundamental constraint that was driving it.
Go ahead and pause. So I agree. Like with the price points, if this guy would have started selling the Steam Deck 64 gigabytes at $550, you know,
Yeah.
nobody
Nobody.
is gonna sit there and buy it, no matter how nice it is. And the people with money, sure, you know, they got nothing better to do. They'll get it. But it's just like, dude, like, yeah, it hurts that you put this much money into it, but it's gonna pay off like later on. Like, because if it's a Steam product, then it's just Steam revenue, bringing people a little closer to what's it called? Like being able to switch to Steam. Like, to me, that's one of my biggest things. I don't have a PC like that. I don't have a laptop that can run games like that. So having a system that is dedicated to that specific part of the PC realm, which is gaming, it is just you know, pretty sick in itself. But dude, but yeah, I don't see how he would have been able to even make this attractive to the consumer without putting these price points the way he has already set them. In all honesty, I mean, I think $299 should be the price point for the 64 gig one. Right. You know, but it's still decent.
It's still decent, yeah. I mean, if you compare the Nintendo Switch OLED, which is going to be a $300 versus this.
Yeah.
I would prefer this.
Yeah, it's a better investment at that point.
It's better, I mean, I know they have learned from the Steam Machine because Steam Machine was a failure. Because Steam Machine was really expensive at that time because it was competing with the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. And it got overshadowed, man. Like, man, these people are... It was overpriced. It was a disaster. So they probably learned from that and they're like, you know what? Let's make this, you know, a really good investment.
It's either that or they saw Stadia, you know, and they're just like, oh, well, you know, if Google's going to get in on it, we have to, you know, and they got to do it right on top of that.
The thing is, you can go on Google on this thing and play their games too.
Heck yeah.
I mean, if you have the good internet, you can play Stadia games on this shit.
Yeah.
It's still running because it's on the cloud.
Yeah. but dude, like, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty decent price range. I don't see any reason to argue with it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, let's continue
Our
with
view
the
is if we're doing
video.
this right, that we're going to be selling these in millions of units, and it's clearly going to be establishing a product category that ourselves and other PC manufacturers are going to be able to participate in, and that's going to have long-term benefits for us. So that's sort of the frame in which we're thinking about this. There aren't sort of explicit, you know, we think that this makes sense, and we think that this makes sense going forward at this price point. We don't have some tying ratio. We don't say, oh, and then we have to sell 8 games, you know, for each one of these, incremental 8 games for each one of these cells. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Our calculus is more just sort of like, is this the right product, and is it a great way to test out the assumption that there's a huge amount of value both to game players and game developers to extending the PC ecosystem in this direction, right? That's the real test more than anything else.
Stay tuned later this month for our full interview with Gabe Newell, and for much more on the Steam Deck, stay right here on IGN.
Yeah, I would agree with this last statement. They're going into this handheld world. You know, with Steam and PC gaming, where your PC is now something that you can, you know, it's more than just taking a laptop with you. It's taking a powerful gaming system with you. No, it doesn't fit in your pocket, but it fits in your backpack, in your suitcase, whatever. And it's more than just a gaming system. It's a tool that you can use in any way you want possible. Like, they're not sitting there and restricting you on just using their platform of software. So they're really keeping it open-ended. They're keeping an open mind, leaving a lot of possibilities to the future of the device. I really like that. My only question that I would have, and I feel like other consumers are going to have, is this something that's upgradable? Is this something that is going to become obsolete in 2 years, or are they only going to release this like a certain amount of time, like they do for like the PlayStation 2 or the 3 or the 4, or you know?
They have this life time of this generation of this kind of console, and then another just like an Apple 10 or iPhone 10 or whatever
like
the hell it be.
like
all these versions
to
of
me.
it.
Yeah, that's the biggest question all around. Is this going to be a console thing, or is this going to be like a cell phone thing, where every year we're going to be wanting the new next best thing, and now the OS that you're trying to run doesn't run good on the old system, so now we're being lagged out, you know? So I personally hope that as they're developing this and they're finalizing it, that it becomes like this system's going to last 5 years.
At least 5 years. I mean, it's
because if not, you're just I mean, people are stupid enough to buy the new Apple product every year.
Yeah.
People are stupid enough to buy the new Samsung product every year. With the minimum difference, you know? So, I mean, to me, I really hope it doesn't just become like a money grabber thing. One of the bright sides is this does have expandable storage via an SD card. So you can, what's the limit of SD cards? I think you can get up to a terabyte on an SD card
at this
now.
point it's a terabyte. Yeah.
So I mean, you could get the minimum. You could get a 64 gigabyte, you know, a handheld system, and pay that $350 or $400, you know, for that system, and then invest into an SD card, and then you got a terabyte and 64 gigs, you know, or not really 64 gigs because the OS is going to take up some of that. But you know, you'll have at least a terabyte of storage for your games and stuff. So, you know, to me, in all honesty, the money grab is at the lowest point of the console. Because if you're going mid tier, there's no bonus other than upgraded on memory, which you can do yourself with an SD card.
Of
You
course.
know, and it kind of sucks that they're keeping the anti-glare on the highest gigabyte console, but I see why they're doing it. They're trying to make that one the premium, you know.
Hmm.
So um, yeah, man, I think it's a good idea. I think it's a fun concept, and I mean, I'm looking forward to see this be released. How about you, dude? Like,
I am really excited. Thinking about how this thing will last. I mean, we can see the Nintendo Switch being underpowered even on launch because this was on 2017 and it was still launching at a really weak state. You know, it was not powerful as the PlayStation 4. Even though it's a ninth gen, it was a new generation for Nintendo. It came out weak, but look at it. It was really successful, even though it didn't have the horsepower that the PlayStation 4 has or the Xbox One has.
I mean,
But look at
if
it.
you think about it, like with that Nintendo, sorry to cut you off too.
Hmm.
Just to put that in there, with Nintendo, excuse me, Nintendo has like the best fan base,
Yeah,
I guess you'd
yeah,
say. Yeah. So it's just like somebody who grew up with Nintendo, bro. You, me, we grew up from straight the original Game Boy, Game Boy
yeah,
Color. Worked all the way to the Game Boy Advance, to
yeah.
the SP, to the DS, to the DS Lite, to the DS 3DS, to the bro. It, we've been through it all, and with every little advance Nintendo does, it just gets better.
Yeah, it
So
does.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Hmm.
even though they're not sitting here with as much power as the Xbox or the PS4 or the PS5 or whatever, bro, like they're selling games that run well on their system.
Understand? Yeah, exactly.
Period.
Yeah,
So, and they're not sitting there and trying to commit to something that's not gonna run on
exactly
their
the point.
system.
Hmm.
And so that makes every game that we play that much more fun. I mean, to me, in all honesty, Nintendo's kind of like Apple in that way,
Mm.
bro. Like, you know, Apple doesn't do the like a super big upgrade, but the next generation of phone they come out with might be spec sheet wise weaker than like an S20 or the newest Samsung device out there, but it
Hmm.
runs just as fast because of the quality they put into it.
Right.
And so to me, that's why Nintendo is one of the best, consoles out there. Not because of the power, not because of features or whatever. It's more so that A, we grew up with Nintendo.
Of course.
B, they make sure everything runs, and
Hmm.
C, it's it how do you put it? It's like it's a high quality device that they're putting out there because with everything that the Nintendo is, that system could feel cheap. They could cut back on so much shit just to turn down the price. But when you hold this device in your hand, it feels heavy. It feels like it's quality.
It
The
feel like
plastic
exactly. Yeah.
was nice, you
Exactly.
know.
Hmm.
So I mean, to me, that's what makes Nintendo worth buying.
Right.
But yeah,
Plus the
that's
exclusives.
sorry for my interruption, but go ahead.
All right. Yeah, it's okay. That same line. Just looking back in history, we used to have the PSP, and we used to have the PSP. I still have my PSP and the PS Vita, and I mean, they competed with Nintendo back then. I mean, Nintendo is still the king of portable consoles till today. Valve is being very brave of getting into this market, competing with a portable console. You know, we're talking about the king of uh, portable consoles, which is Nintendo, and they have won all
Yep.
these generations, and these guys are just jumping in like, can we do this or not? like, and
Don't worry, we got it. Hold my beer.
exactly the point. And I give Valve, uh, props, and I don't think they're gonna get this copyright shit or get sued because I see this as a really different console. It has different features. I don't see Nintendo being that bitchy all over it. All this is that Nintendo will be getting better, and it's a really straight competition for Nintendo, and I really like this kind of competition because we can see all these other companies not having the rivals getting into their, you know, to the gut until they see the competition getting better, and they just like, hey, we need to step it up. So I see Valve like right now, like, hey man, this is actually uh, a PC. And yeah, it is. I can actually see it. And this is not a CGI trailer. This is actually a people actually holding it in their hands, and
Yeah,
it's not fake. It's something that I can see and like, okay, this is legit. I can see that this
exactly.
is
It's
going
not
to be very successful.
it's not fake like your stepmom's tits. So it's just helping y'all understand the realm of reality that we're
Right,
currently in. Okay,
right,
so without trying to get canceled, um,
indeed.
but but yeah, dude. I mean, I could. I mean, like I said,
Can you
I
afford
think
this?
there's a possibility that Nintendo might try to sue, but
Hmm.
at the same time, with how much is powered into it,
Yeah.
they might not be able to.
Yeah.
But my concept is they might try to sue over design. Like,
It's so hard, man, cause even the Joy Cons they don't switch out. The analog sticks they're different, and the XBAY it's different from Nintendo's.
I mean, but the Nintendo Lite doesn't have removable analogs.
Right? Yeah, but
So that's why I'm like,
yeah,
it's a concept they kind of like decided on. But I mean, like I said, that we could argue about that all day. But
yeah, but they might do it because we know Nintendo likes to sue people. But we're
yeah,
talking about Valve here, man. We're not talking about otros pelagatos por ahí, as what I'm referring to other people that are fully indie, like independent. Valve, they're far from that. They have history, they have money, and they own a whole freaking um, store. Like,
yeah. I mean, one of the things. I mean, I look at this system, right, the new Steam Deck, and I'm just like, no lie, it kind of reminds me of a PSP, but on steroids.
right.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
because to me, PSP is always going to be in my heart. That's why I
Mm-hmm.
have the PS Vita. That's why I still play it. It's
Right.
you can cancel the system all you want. It doesn't matter. I'm like, dude, it's a good system. There are great games on it,
Yeah.
you know. Uh, But the biggest thing with the PSP back in the day that really, blew the competition against Nintendo was that this had it like its own main menu. You could internet browse.
Mm-hmm.
You could
Yeah.
save pictures. You could save videos. You
Right.
could add storage. You could listen to music, watch movies. Like, dude, you could do so much on the PSP. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
versus like a DS. Back in the day, it wasn't really customizable. Sure, you
Mm-hmm.
had like the little me menu and shit like that,
Yeah.
but nothing really there. Like PSP was kind of meant for like the teenager,
Yeah.
the young adult,
Exactly.
the person who's trying to get to work but is a gamer and doesn't want to just sit the whole commute looking at other passengers on the bus. You know
Correct.
it. So I mean, I see this as like a PSP on steroids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like definitely for the adult consumer, and like I said, multi-use.
Fully
So
multi-use. I mean, I can play Stadia on this thing, man. I cannot play Stadia on the Nintendo Switch. I mean, you can go on Google. I mean, it's. I hope this is successful, man, because it's something that I really wanted for a long time. Because I actually bought the Steam machine, but right now it's like, eh. it's old, it's slow, and it's dated.
Yeah, yeah. It's
It-
obsolete.
it's obsolete. I mean, I use it for some other games, but I don't use it that much as I used to use it when I bought it.
Here's my thing about the Steam Machine though. It was disqualified before the race even started.
Yeah.
Like so, it was to me the Steam Machine was just a waste of money out the
Yeah.
bat. But man, you see it here and you think that maybe they'll upgrade it with the software. Maybe they'll fix the software so it runs better. So after 2 years, give up. If they
Yeah.
haven't fixed it,
I
it's
mean,
not gonna get fixed.
yeah, and they all actually I do remember they have different versions of the Steam Machine as like the storage is what we're seeing right now with the Steam Deck, but it failed because it was really overly expensive. It was like at least $600, dude, and when the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One were like at least 400. it's it's a
Dude, when the
huge difference.
when the PlayStation 4 released, they were selling it for 400.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what they were thinking back then, but hey, at least they know they learn from their mistakes and they're doing this. And
Yeah, bro.
it's,
At least.
I don't think I have concerns with this other than that the heat system. I don't think they will be heating up that much since it has two ventilations. I don't see this burning up. Uh,
I could see it getting hot.
it will because it's literally it's playing hardcore visual games
Yeah,
like
well, they're only running at 720p.
right.
So that's I mean, that's probably where they save their power too,
Hmm.
because they're like, oh, we'll put this battery in it, and it'll last this long. But if we run this screen on it, that time's going to be cut into this, and that's probably why they settled on a 720 screen. Honestly,
Right.
um,
Yeah.
it's a lot less processing power for graphics wise to go ahead and display that. Um,
Yeah.
so, and really, that's on a PC or a laptop. That's really what kicks your computer's ass is running those graphics.
Right.
So,
But
I
this
mean,
thing is made to run those things, so
yeah,
we're not talking about another laptop that is basically made for something else, and we just download Steam on it and start playing games on it, and I
well,
don't
did
know.
you did you did you see the $10,000 gaming laptop?
uh, ¿De qué compañía?
Hold the phone, bro.
Because I know an MSI that costs like that. An MSI will cost that much.
I'm pretty sure.
If it's MSI, I will believe you.
I'm pretty sure it's this one. Yeah, it is. Here we go. Sent it. Should be getting it any minute.
Alright, let me see here. Okay. Holy shit. Se llama así, Predator.
Yeah, bro.
Holy shit. Damn. That has like how many fans inside? Cause I see ventilations on the sides.
Bro,
Like, holy shit.
pull up the video.
Hold on, let me just put it on the. Let me. Damn, bro.
Dude, this shit is ridiculous.
Dude, it's a monster. I think this is more powerful
Grammarly
than my
helps make your
freaking
writing
PC,
clear and
man.
concise.
Dude, yes it
No matter
is.
where you are.
Oh my
you see
goodness,
the video?
this is a
Yeah.
gigantic package, as you could probably tell. I mean, it's like, it is the largest gaming laptop ever inside. I can't believe I haven't checked out this laptop's
Let's see.
heat from the
Right here.
inside. HDMI,
Holy
2 display ports,
fuck.
Thunderbolt 3, wired Ethernet, and then of course the 2 power ports for those power bricks. 2 more USB 3s.
esto
It looks like some
parece
gold-plated
una maleta.
audio connectors for both microphone and headphones. Here we go. Ooh. That's insane! 2560 by 1080, ultra wide, and yes, it's curved. There's the curve. This thing has 5 fans in it. It's got 2 subwoofers on it, as you can see down here in the corners. Also, these laptops are numbered. You can see I have number 16 out of 300. 300 out to the 2 GPUs, and of course the system as well. Now I'm gonna go ahead and hit the max fan speed. Oh.
Holy crap.
Bit of a jet engine. Bit of a jet engine. You have 2 GTX 1080s, so stop complaining, okay?
Today, I think we've done that. So in a previous video, we showed you a setup with a really special chair. Oh my goodness.
So there's a couple different settings on there through the Dolby. Be really important, obviously, to gamers. It's got the i7 7820 HK processor. The 2 GTX 1080s are in SLI, so they're working together. It's got 64 gigabytes of DDR4 memory.
Bro,
and
look
then
at how
it's got a
smooth that is. Back it up. What?
It's got 64 gigabytes of DDR4 memory, and then it's got a couple of 5.
Una laptop con esa mierda, loco.
I told you, bro. $10,000.
Loco.
Never buy a laptop again.
No. I think if I buy a laptop and a Best Buy, I'm gonna like, you know what? Loco, this is a monster.
12 gigabyte SSDs, NVMe
That's-
SSDs.
I wonder
in-
how big that screen is. I think it's like 24 inches.
Dude, it's literally, let's see, my game mat, literal, it's my mouse pad right now. That's actually, holy shit. You know what?
Eso te llega a la rodilla.
Literal. Loco, qué rayete es este monstruo, loco.
7.8 gigabytes. What I really think this thing aims
Wait,
to do,
what?
over holy smoke, 7.8 gigabytes.
Go back up a little more.
Sí, espérate.
1080. And you can see we still have plenty of VRAM left over. Holy smoke, 7.8 gigabytes.
Oh,
What-
video RAM.
See it. Holy shit. It's not even using the full potential, man. Holy crap.
You know, if I ever get my hands on one of these.
Loco, es un Acer, loco. Wow. Es un Acer.
Bro, yeah, at least it's not an Asus.
Ah. Damn, dude. I would like a laptop like that, but I cannot even afford that.
I know.
This will be obsolete within the next 15 years.
Dude, you'd have some time with that.
Oh my gosh, dude. Anyways,
That laptop would last as long as a Corolla.
dude. Un Corolla, bro, del diadre. Un Corea de qué año?
93.
Yeah, that one. That one. Wow, dude. I mean, uh, going back to the Steam one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it will last too. I think it will last.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be like this phone shit, like Samsung and Apple shit. I don't think they're gonna go that route. Just because of the horsepower that this thing has, and the games. Because if it actually runs the games from Steam, because this is actually customizable, just like a PC, you can lower the settings or high up the settings. It ain't
Yeah.
like a PS4 that you cannot do that. At least this gives you the option. So I give
Yeah.
it that.
Yep. I know. Like we mentioned before, it's gonna be a pretty open realm.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Anyways,
Anybody who watched this, if you guys have any comments or anything you guys want to point out that we missed or you just wanted to hear us talk about, go ahead, leave it in the comment section below, or don't, assholes.
indeed. Stay tuned for the next one. I do not know because there's nothing interesting by this one because I have not done a podcast for a long time, but it all depends on the gaming community and the gaming, industry. Give us something new so we can go ahead and talk about. And yeah, just keep gaming, guys. This has been Zyberpunky.
And this is the Badshik, aka Commander Shikaru Uzu, aka your worst nightmare, aka the copycat gamer, aka I'm out of this bitch.
We'll see you guys later.
Deuces.